Minecraft Pocket Edition was the first version of Minecraft I had ever played or seen. Back when everyone had iPod Touches and Kindle Fires, Minecraft was all the rage. And with how complicated everything's gotten nowadays, I realized I wanted to go back to not only a simpler version of Minecraft, but also a simpler time in my life. I wanted to play Minecraft Pocket Edition again, and I'm not talking this Pocket Edition, no. I'm talking the old alpha versions, back when worlds were this tiny and you had to use a stone cutter to make stone things. Fortunately, an anonymous benefactor of mine lent me a totally legal .apk of MCPE. The only sitch was I would need an Android tablet to run this, and yeah, so I ended up ordering an old children's tablet off eBay, the Navi 2. Remember Navi? Yeah, they had commercials like this.
Good morning, Redbird. Good morning, Redbird.
And padded corners so I don't hurt myself. Anyway, I got Minecraft running on this thing, version 0.8.0. This was the last version before infinite worlds were added and things got weird. If you know, you know. So my goal here is to survive 100 in-game days to not only reminisce, but also to see just how well old Pocket Edition holds up today. Will I go insane playing this? Probably. Wow, I haven't seen Minecraft looking like this in a long time. I honestly, I don't know what to say. I made my way over to this tree and did just various first day things, you know? Look, this is what crafting used to look like. You feel old yet? Yeah, I do. Look, blue roses. I never understood why they were blue in this version. And with that, the sun began setting, which actually looks really pretty in this version. Old Pocket Edition had no reason to have this good of a lighting engine. I decided not to skip the first night because I'm not a wuss, and I wanted to see what fighting monsters would look like on this version. It's actually pretty easy. Tapping the screen to attack fiends is way more satisfying than I remember it being. Here's a little montage of me killing things. And with the first night survived, I decided it was time to make some goals. Now, you have to understand that old Minecraft Pocket Edition had no Ender Dragon, no Wither Boss, not even the Nether. Instead, we had the Nether reactor, which I decided would be our end goal for this world. But first things first, I would need somewhere to live. So I found a nice spot of land and started building a classic Minecraft house. This took a lot longer than it would have taken me if I was on Java Edition, but honestly, not being able to sprint and collecting resources as I went along made the end product way more satisfying. Like, this is going to be my house that I made with my own grubby little hands. And while I was building, I discovered every single monster that has ever existed under this overpass. Did I mention how awesome this seed is? Like, look, there's freaking flowing lava. Most worlds in Pocket Edition just don't have lava, but this one has 2 lava falls. Isn't that cool? I'm also not gonna light this area up. This is just way too much fun. Anyway, this is my house all done, and I made a bed too, so we can finally skip the night. So now that I had my first taste of real estate, I decided I wanted to get rich. I would need at least 3 diamonds to craft the Nether reactor core and 36 gold ingots to craft the blocks. So I started digging straight down. There aren't any caves in this version of Pocket Edition, so I don't have to worry about falling into lava. However, this means the only way to mine for diamonds and anything else in this version is to strip mine, which I already hate doing. And I swear to God, they made diamonds so much more rare in this version. I spent literal days just mining from one end of the world to the other, and guess how many diamonds I got? Put your answer in the comments down below, actually. I'll wait. Okay, time's up. The answer is 0. Nothing. I'm so poor! At least the nice thing about playing Pocket Edition is that I can literally play this wherever I want. Like, I've been walking in one direction for the past 3 hours, and I honestly don't know where I am anymore. I was getting really sick and tired of mining, so I decided to do something else for the time being. I had so much cobblestone on me now, and I remembered seeing all those monsters underneath the mountain earlier, and I thought it'd be really fun to make a little mob grinder. So yeah, I would spend the next few days doing just that. I chose a pretty simple design, nothing you guys haven't seen before. And it worked surprisingly well. I sat here for a few more days just watching the drops pile up. What the fuck? Started growing some crops now that I had the bone meal. Did you know you could bone meal sugarcane in this version? Isn't that crazy? Now, Old Pocket Edition did not have working redstone. Like, there is redstone, but you can only use it to craft compasses and powered rails. You can't place it down anywhere and make cool, funny contraptions. So instead, we had what I like to call pseudo redstone, where people would use water streams and sign chains to mimic automated redstone contraptions. Nothing could be fully automated, of course, but it was still really neat seeing what people would come up with back in the day. In my world, I decided to make a semi-automatic crop farm that's super satisfying to harvest. Like, look at this. Isn't this cool? And of course, I decided to build most of this underwater. It looks really cool, but it took me 11 days, man. Okay, enough distractions. I really need to find diamonds. I spent a few more days in the mine and finally found what I was looking for. I don't think it has ever taken me this long to find diamonds. Steve even stopped by to congratulate me. Man, what a cool guy. Today I climbed this mountain. It was a lot of fun. 10 out of 10 climb would definitely mountain again. After a few more days of mining, I finally had enough gold to build this Nether reactor thing. For those of you who don't know, items like glowstone, netherrack, and other stuff like pumpkin and melon seeds were in the game, but just unobtainable unless you built a Nether reactor, which is basically just this thing, and when you tap on the core, you get transported into this netherrack box. If you're fast enough, you can actually grab your gold blocks back before they turn into obsidian. And for the next like 30 seconds or so, you have to fight off zombie pigmen while a bunch of loot items spawn in. These guys are really no problem at all, and once it's all over, you're left with a big-ass netherrack structure in your world, which honestly I think looks pretty sick. Pretty cool how Mojang back then came up with this really cool workaround for obtaining otherwise unobtainable items in your world. I really wish they'd bring something like this back into modern Minecraft, despite it not really having much of a purpose anymore. Speaking of purpose, it's day 50. And I feel like I have done pretty much everything I've set out to do so far, which was really fast actually. There isn't much of a progression system in Pocket Edition. I've built the only 2 farms that are really worth building, and I'm getting really cold out here. Yeah, but you know what, actually, I still wanted to get rich, so I did some mining off camera. I'm just kidding, I duped all these diamonds. Yeah, so it turns out Old Pocket Edition is still filled with dupe glitches, just as I remembered it being. Me and my friends used to do this all the time on the school bus. We thought we were so cool for having chests filled with diamonds. For those curious on how this is possible, it's actually pretty simple. You just
put the items you want to dupe in a chest. Save and exit your game. Then reload your world. Take the items out of the chest and wait 15 seconds before quickly closing out of the app entirely. Reopen the app. If done correctly, you should spawn in with your items still in your inventory and your duped items waiting for you in the chest.
It's just that easy, and in no time I became the richest man currently playing Minecraft Pocket Edition right now. I made a diamond pirate ship, an inverted pyramid, just really flexing my wealth on everyone. Check out this sick roller coaster. I lost track of the days because I'm starving. Old Minecraft Pocket Edition has been a joy to revisit, and while yeah, I did spend the latter half of this challenge just duping items and outright cheating, I don't really care because I'm having fun. I mean, I know we're really spoiled with modern Minecraft nowadays, but even old beta Minecraft still had caves to explore, a proper nether, and redstone. Pocket Edition was really lacking in those departments for the longest time, and I think even as a kid I sort of knew that. But as Pocket Edition kept updating and became more and more like Java Edition, I found myself playing it less and less. And I think that's because it just became way too complicated for a mobile game. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, it's super cool that we have a fully featured version of Minecraft on our phones now, but I think old Pocket Edition had this charm with its simplicity that we sort of took for granted at the time. Sure, it had less features, but it had enough for a decent survival experience, and otherwise forced you to really use your imagination and you know, sort of craft your own adventure. What a fucking bar. So yeah, let me know if there are any other versions of Minecraft you want me to look at. I did Minecraft Wii not too long ago. You should check that one out if you haven't yet. I just hope Steve doesn't get mad at me again for not finishing this 100 days challenge. I promised him I wouldn't do this again, but I'm really bad at keeping promises. Have you seen my upload schedule?